Hello and welcome to our first episode of Waterdeep Dragon Heist. I'm too nervous to really come up with anything else, so let's get into this and join us by the campfire. I was going to roll for who I was going to pick first, but unfortunately, I'm going to go with what I wanted to do originally, and Josh.
Oh shit, what up?
That sounds like something Alexa
It's
did
your
last
boy.
session.
You're
It's
going to be
ya
up first.
boy.
So, if you want to take a second and describe your character.
Yeah, so Dante is an elven man, pale-skinned, long, red hair. He probably stands about average height for an elf, so like a little over 6 feet. He's not particularly well built, but he seems fairly athletic. What he wears is kind of like this red blouse with an open chest and dark leather pants and boots. The most notable thing about his appearance is this curved blade that rests on his hip. Those in the real world would know it to be a katana, because weeb shit. But to him, it is just an odd curved blade that he found. The blade itself is very intricate. Woven across the handle is like infernal scripture across it with red and black inlay and a tarot card hanging from a chain.
It has been a pretty busy day for Dante. Vincent has kept you fairly busy running errands, tracking people down to question just about minor things, really. Most of the time, he just sends you on bullshit missions to get you out of his office. You, at this point, find yourself pretty tired. The sun is just starting to set, and your day is not quite over yet. The last thing he needed from you today was for you to answer the tidbit left on the notice board by Volothamp Godarm, sorry. He gave it to you, and it's almost comical in the way that it reads. It is, to the brave citizens of Waterdeep, I, Volothamp Godarm, beseech your aid. A dear friend of mine has gone amiss. I will reward those who help return him a hefty sum. You and Vincent are both fairly familiar with Volo, and he talks a big talk, but normally does not have coin behind him to back up his statements. But still, Vince doesn't really like people being missing in Waterdeep. It kind
Okay.
of goes against everything that he believes in. He likes to
Right.
know where the people are. So yeah, you are currently on your way to the Yawning Portal Tavern, which is where Volo said he would be waiting.
Okay.
On the way, go ahead.
What side of town am I walking from? Does it really matter?
You are currently walking from the North Ward.
Okay. I'm just gonna kind of take in my surroundings, see what like the guard are up to, if there's anything going on or any events happening in the streets.
There is actually. So most of the city guards at this time, actually all of the city guards, are not in the city. At least for this 10-day. Currently, there is frequently holidays in Waterdeep. It is almost a at least 2 a month kind of deal. The streets are often brightly colored with festivities. During this 10-day, the holiday is Howldown, which is where the guards of the city all take to the woods to hunt game and monsters just to bring in food and also clear off anything that could be gathering and keeping people out of Waterdeep. And during that time, the City Watch and the Magisters kind of pick up and fill in that role as City Watch. So normally, people are on their P's and Q's during this 10-day because those are the people that can just automatically punish you on site. They don't have to wait to go through the whole judicial system. They can just serve punishment as they see fit in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Also during this, adults dress up as monsters. Children dress up as hunters, and they chase each other through the streets. A lot of times when a monster is felled by a child, they kind of rip their guts out, and it is like candied meats and fruits and things like that, just almost violent displays.
That's kind of fucked up.
It does strike a strange, discordant chord in you.
Okay.
It's just a very visceral thing. But it is surprisingly a cool night. It was a hot day it is like peak summertime right now. Shut up, Alexa. I know I said Discord and Cord. I did not even shush. But it was a pretty warm day. It's cooled off a lot, almost chilly at night as you make your way to the yawning portal.
Okay, seeing these festivities going on, I'm gonna kind of just tuck myself into an alleyway and wave my hand over my face and cast mage armor, and just like this bone version of an Oni mask will go over my head, and I'll just start walking the streets like that to blend in a little bit more.
All right. A few children do take notice of this and kind of like raise wooden swords towards you, give you chase for a couple blocks. But you arrive at the Yawning Portal Tavern. This is in the dock ward of the town, so there's a drastic change as you go from the north ward to the dock ward. The north ward is beautiful. It is where the nobility of the city lives, where the money is coming from and from the city. The dock ward, up until recently, was known as the most dangerous ward. Houses and buildings are stacked on top of each other. Most of these street lights have been smashed, so there is like one for every 6 street lights or lamps where they should be. So it's just generally a sketchy area. People tend to move quicker here, trying to get to their destination without anyone paying attention to them, things like that.
Right.
But the tavern is well regarded despite being in its location. It is a one-of-a-kind tavern, truly. People from all over the city come here. As you get inside, which you've been in here infrequently, or actually, no, you live here.
Yes, I do.
It was no problem for you to have to track down Volo, that you're already literally coming home. It is a basically circular tavern that is 3 stories just for people to sit and eat and drink at. There are rooms continuing up on the higher levels. But the main part that really gets people's attention about this tavern is in the dead center. There's a hole in the tavern, almost like a well, that leads straight down into the Underdark.
Oh, really?
So it draws a lot of attention. That is kind of where the name Yawning Portal comes from. It actually leads directly over the Undermountains of the Underdark. So people have often talked, every once in a while, as you are kind of going in and out, you will see people lowering themselves into it. I mean, they are high-level adventurers a lot of times going to explore what is known to be one of the most difficult dungeons ever.
How often do people come back from said adventures?
You haven't seen one return yet.
Shit, okay.
Now, that doesn't mean they haven't. You are kind of unsure.
Back to the well.
Exactly, and just what you have seen, they haven't.
Yeah. Right, I didn't just stick around and wait to see.
Right.
Okay. And I'm looking for Volo, and you said I'm pretty familiar with him.
You are. At least, he's hard to miss. His attitude alone is hard to miss. But you don't see him at this moment. You do see the familiar face of Bonnie, the barmaid. You see the barkeep / owner of the Yawning Portal, Durnan. But it is fairly busy at this time, and seats are kind of hard to come by.
So I guess I'll just stand and I'll kind of mosey on over to the bar, try to get the bartender's attention.
Durnan is a human man. He looks exhausted, not even a normal level. Normally he's a little grumpy. He loves his business, but he also just doesn't want to do it at the same time. But he has no pep in his step tonight. He is just exhausted.
Rough night, I take it.
It's yeah, you could say that.
Well, can I bother you for an ale?
For you, it's no bother. Even as he says it, it doesn't kind of connect. But he does eventually go off, make you an ale, bring it back in a pretty large keg.
Pretty busy tonight. What brings all these people in?
Well, we're always busier during the holidays. And it's summer, so there are the most people in the city that there ever will be.
I see. Well, it's making my job pretty hard tonight. Have you seen Volo around by chance?
Not tonight. I'm sure he'll be back. He waits till everyone gets nice and drunk and then starts trying to boast.
Of course, his true nature.
Yes.
Well, I'll be waiting around down here for a while. keep them coming, okay?
Sounds good.
And I'll just chill out and drink and wait.
Okay. As you kind of make yourself comfortable, eventually find a seat, we are going to skip. So, Mason.
Howdy.
Hello. For many, the Howldown holiday or festival is enjoyable. It's just a lighthearted, kind of peppy thing. For you, it kind of sucks. Mostly because the Magisters are on call, on duty this entire 10-day. So your mom is constantly tied up in things. A lot of times it is so busy for them that your dad kind of ends up helping her out. Today was kind of one of those instances where she was just so slammed that she did call on him. She called on you for like a few of the more minor ones just to kind of run and tie up a few loose ends for her. You were actually on your way from like getting some documentation, like basically notarized for her as you're on your way back home, when a very familiar voice kind of like tickles the back of your head. Mason, love, why don't you get a room somewhere tonight? A block in the Southern Wood was destroyed, and it's a bit too close to home. We love you. And the message ends.
I think just in her mind, she's just... Yeah, alright, Mom, I'll do that.
You do happen to be in the dock ward. You're fairly familiar with the area, and the Yawning Portal is an option for you. You have been there pretty frequently. You know that they do have semi-decent rooms, especially for the area, and from the way that your mom sounded, she really didn't want you returning to the Southern Ward at all. Yeah,
I think she'll just start walking to the Yawning Portal, just best bet.
Okay. As you arrive, you see the same thing, this passage all the way down to the Underdark, the 3 stories, kind of circular tavern built around it. You do see the familiar faces. Who did you roll again? You see Bonnie. She is kind of like sprinting in between tables, just trying to keep up with orders. She is a human girl, fairly young. She has like long, thick, curly red hair that goes down to about her waist. She's very pale skinned and like light green eyes. She looks like she is struggling to catch her breath at the moment. You also see sat at one of the tables kind of by herself, Obaya, who you know as a priest who traveled here from Cholt. She's got not an ale. She drinks wines, but that is about the only thing that she does not count as against her religion.
Is there anybody else that I recognize in here, or just them?
Just them for the most part that you know well enough to carry on a conversation with. You see a few people who like you've gotten on to before about getting into little ruckuses in the street. You see a few people that your mom has arrested before, but not many friendly, familiar faces.
Are there any empty tables?
There is an empty table, yeah. There is like one that someone is currently picking up their glasses to return back to the bar and leaving.
I am gonna go to that one. Like, oh.
It takes a few moments, probably about like 3 or 4 minutes go by before Bonnie finally makes her way over to you, breathing heavily. I'm so sorry. What do you want to drink tonight?
I'm not gonna drink tonight. If you got some stew, haven't had dinner yet.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll have to see what is we still have left, but give me just a couple minutes.
Yeah, no worries, love.
She sprints off again. It takes about 10 minutes. You're kind of just sat still watching. You see a bard
reading my book. My spell book.
Down on the bottom floor, a bard is kind of preparing his instrument as he's getting ready to perform a set. He's a halfling man. The one thing that you notice is his lyre seems to be a little off. Normally they have more strings. His is specifically a 3-stringed lyre, which is strange. But by the time that you really notice this and like kind of like start to wonder, Bonnie is returning with your stew. And it is just a mystery meat and carrot and potato stew. You've kind of learned not to ask questions about what's in the food in the dock ward. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I know what you're saying.
Do you want anything else now? Or...
No, that's all right, love. Thanks.
All right, I'll check in with you at some point. And she runs off again. As
Just
you
gonna look
sit,
down at it and just make
it's
sure
hearty.
Okay,
It's
I'll
not
eat it.
it's not the worst thing, but it's not like your mom's cooking, but it'll get you through the night at least. While you stew over your stew,
A stew over my stew.
we are going to go to Atami.
Hey,
So it has been a long and busy day for you, like most days are, really. Performances went well. You played in performed in a few different taverns earlier, mostly in the North Ward, which typically tend to garnish more wealth for you. So I'll say, all in all, your total for the day will be about 7 gold and 13 silver.
sweet. Can actually note that down. Still very much listening to you.
Which, on that note, I did forget something that I wanted to say in the briefing. Money works a little differently in Waterdeep, and it's all the same coin. They do have different names. So gold pieces are typically referred to as dragons.
Okay.
Please tell me then they're like lizards, snake.
No, so I'll go over the list really quickly. Where did it go? I had it pulled up, and this is okay. So copper is known as a nib, N-I-B. Silver is shard. Brass is taol or T-A-O-L. Gold is dragons. Platinum coins are called suns, and then there is a harbor moon that is basically.
Hold on a second, my love. I'm gonna need you to restart this list for me.
Okay.
So lost.
So coppers are nibs, N-I-B-S.
The one part I got.
I got silver equals shard.
Yes.
Past that, you lost me.
Brass is towel, T-O-A-L.
Oh, T-O-A.
And I'm guessing by brass you mean like copper?
No. There
Like
is
electric
another
penny?
one that is like in
Is this a
between
penny?
gold.
Basically?
Because a copper is a penny, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So
Maybe it's
okay,
an
the way that the
How many
Waterdeep money
total are
works,
there?
Is this supposed to be Electrum?
That's what I
No.
just said.
it's not. Well, maybe. Hang on.
What's
So
after brass?
It's fine.
brass is worth 200 nib. So it's 200 copper.
So yeah, so it's fine.
Gold is dragon. Platinum coins are known as suns. And then there is one coin that is worth 5,000 nibs. It is platinum with electrum. It's called a harbor moon.
Platinum with electrum?
Yes, it's like a half moon that is like engraved with electrum.
Y'all didn't
Sorry,
think you'd be
Harbor
seeing a
what?
campaign that used Electrum, did you?
Yeah, really.
Harbor what?
Moon.
The harbor moon. Well,
So yes,
That's
you
still
technically have gotten 7 dragon, and 13. I just said it and I already
Shards.
lost it. What is silver?
shards.
Shards. Thank you.
Got you.
Which is it's pretty all right for you. It's not the best. It's not a bad day necessarily. You finish up a little early, kind of decide to get yourself a little treat. As night falls, you kind of get ready to set into your normal routine for the night when a very familiar, albeit normally unwanted voice kind of speaks to you in the back of your mind. Tommy, big problems. Stay away. And you recognize this voice as the Frizz.
With the frizz? No way!
Is this the D&D equivalent of the Fawns?
Uh,
Anybody get my joke?
this is
this
the
phrase in
D&D
front?
equivalent of like Doc Brown, essentially.
Oh.
Do I recognize this as like a message where he would be nearby enough to see me, or a sending where I could respond?
Probably for him to be near enough to see you.
Okay. Can I take a look to see if I can kind of spot him?
Roll me a perception check.
Sure. Come on, Frizz, where you at, dog? Perception? The first roll of the damn campaign. That is a natural 20 for a 26.
Perfect. So almost instantly, you lock eyes with him, and he's kind of hard to miss. Let me look again at your description of him so I don't say it wrong. But I believe he's a dwarf, correct?
Um,
No, he's a halfling.
He's a
So halfling man, very frizzy brown hair. He's kind of like crouched in some like crates. Off to the side, very obviously trying not to be seen. But you just lock eyes with him immediately. And he kind of like, once again, you see the copper wire in his hand as he's whispering into it. Look, all I know is we're supposed to stay away from everywhere we normally locate, alright? Something big is going on and they don't want us anywhere we're supposed to be.
do you want me to just hang out at the yawning portal until we get orders?
That's probably best, yeah.
Alright, well, try not to worry your head.
We'll see. They sounded like it was bad news, but good luck.
I just kind of will, like, give him a side look and this, like, little nod. Not enough to, like, be noticeable to anybody else around.
Uh-huh. Just a little tilt of the head.
As I'm just kind of going through the streets, I'll, like, see the children kind of playing around. Kind of duck into a small alley. And then when I come back, I've kind of disguised myself as, like, an ogre-ish kind of creature.
Okay.
And I will make myself very noticeable to the children, so that they kind of chase after me, which I'll give them a good bit of a run, but then kind of let them catch up.
Right. And they absolutely love this. There are like at least 4 of them in tow, kind of screaming behind you. You eventually kind of slow your pace enough for them to catch up, and they just all attack your legs with their wooden swords. It is obviously not enough to do very much damage. Actually, one of them maybe gets into like a really good blow that it's like, all right, fuckers. But
oh, you've got me. You've taken. God, that's my meat.
yes. But after they whack you a few good times, they kind of run back off to hunt other monsters down.
And then anybody who, can kind of see him use his magic when he drops the disguised self, there's just kind of, like, he kind of looks back at the kids for a second, gives a little bit of a smile, flicks a playing card in the air, and it just kind of spins around, goes like full person size, and he'll get up, walk through the card, and appears as his normal self, a kind of tall, statuesque, but 6'3"-ish tiefling man. Kind of enough of a scruff to be kind of dignified, but not enough to be disheveled. There is an unnatural, like, slightly kind of off-putting, I guess, attractiveness to this man. He holds himself very well. Hair is like shoulder-length ringlet curls of like violet, like pinkish. Think like Imogen from Bell's Hells, but if it was like pure ringlets. And he just kind of steps through this card and snaps, and it returns back to his deck. And he's just kind of waterfall shuffling in his hand. as he makes his way to the yawning portal.
You enter and see a equally busy atmosphere. You do see three strings preparing to give a performance. You kind of sigh, mentally prepare yourself for the shit show that that's about to be. Um, you also see Yagra, kind of towards the back of the tavern. She is currently engaging someone in an arm wrestle, and from what you can immediately clock from the situation is she's just letting them think they're winning for a couple minutes before she stomps the shit out of them like she's known to do.
Fully playing with her food. Yeah.
Yes. But there aren't very many empty tables at this time. You see a few tables with like one or two people, but not really one that is just completely empty.
That's fair. I'm not gonna set up to perform here. Because as much as Three Strings' performances are just the worst, man needs to get his coin. So he's setting up. There's a lot of people. More chances of me. Maybe like a pity nub here and there. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, sure, kind of let him go. Look over at Yagra and kind of give her like a nod of like respect.
She catches it and nods back, and then just immediately floors the guy that she was arm wrestling with.
Oh, she's gonna have to pay the table damages for that. It's fine. I'll kind of like sidle up to the bar, and it's very much like that, like one arm lean. It's almost the try hard stance, but without like you don't get the the feeling that this guy is trying to do that. And just kind of he'll wait until the bartender's free.
It takes a few minutes, but Dornan does eventually make his way down to the end. What can I get for you today?
Oh, something for me not to remember the performance that's about to happen.
I don't blame you there. I've got one in store for myself, too. He walks away for a few minutes, comes back with a hefty glass of a dark whiskey, and kind of just slides it over to you. For that, with the performance that it's about to be, I'll say 3 nibs, and we'll call it even.
And you said that the shards are worth how many?
I believe 10, because that's silver, right? Yes, 10.
So I'll slide him one and say, just give me 4 back.
He does eventually kind of rub into his pockets for a second. You do know that the whiskey that you saw him pouring was probably worth at least like 4 silver for the amount that he gave you, but him and you both know the performance that's about to be in store, and he was not being stingy with it.
Yep. Plus, I mean, I generate some good business when I'm in, so I don't often come to the yawning portal because, like you said, the north end pays better. But I still come down here every once in a while, and there's a specific reason. And just anybody who's got like a really keen perception can see him eyeing every once in a while the Underdark portal.
And a lot of performers get their start in the Yawning Portal. A few of your first sets were performed here. That's really where people kind of get off the ground in Waterdeep. So it does hold a certain level of nostalgia for you as well. But that Yawning Portal has always called to you in a strange way. It's always been just taunting you, in a sense, of what secrets it may hold down there. While you sip your whiskey and ponder over this, we will get to our last, but not least character.
Yo.
Have we just, is it still Callan? Have we changed
It's
that?
Callan.
Okay, just making sure. You also find yourself in the Northern Ward, or the North Ward. You live there, so it's not that big of a shock. You stay in one of the nicer estates of the area. as much as you wish to claim it as your own, it is a friend's house. You are just kind of crashing there for the time being. But you and Donnie had a busy day today. You kind of broke off from him at a certain point to go study a few things at the library, and now are kind of just wandering the streets of the city. A few things kind of tug at the back of your mind right now, and as the sun sets, your patience is kind of thin today. It's just been a rough mental day, like you could just really use a drink right now.
Sounds good. Sounds like.
Do you want to describe Callan? We'll also get back because I forgot to let Danny describe Mason, and I'll circle back to that. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I put that comment in there, like, we'll only know what Dante looks like, never me.
I'm so sorry.
So,
No, it's fine. You never get to.
Callan's walking down the street. He has a very, like, solid posture. Like, it is very... I don't know how to describe it. Like, he stands very tall, very confident about himself, it seems. He puts on this air of, I'm better than you. But he has dark black hair, kind of like, almost my length, but a little shorter. He has dark black clothing, very posh looking. Got almost like a suit, not suit, but a dress shirt type of shirt on, and some nicer pants, some very nice shoes. He holds himself very highly, so yeah. And he's got a rapier in his side, silver rapier.
Do you interact with any of the children on your way to the tavern, or are you just kind of like very stoic, but higher than thou?
I think at first he starts to he sees a few kids kind of run across, and he just kind of gives them a good look. One actually bumps him in the shoulder as he's running, maybe. And he kind of just looks at him at first. Bends down. You having fun?
Loads.
Seems it. Can I roll an intimidation check?
Sure.
I'm gonna try to intimidate the hell out of this kid. Okay, definitely not as good as Kira's 20. This is also the first ever roll of dice. Still good. Dirty 20.
So what do you do to intimidate him?
Just that, like, death stare. Like, you just bumped into me?
He kind of stares back for a few minutes, like the feeling of concern kind of like slowly growing, before he takes a sword, whacks you once, and keeps running. Just
At first he kind of just, and then to himself just kind of smirks and starts to head over to the tavern that he likes to frequent with Donnie.
You enter the same very busy, very bustling tavern. I will say, kind of as you enter, everyone is here now. Before you can even like get situated or order a round of drinks, I need everyone to roll a d20 for me.
Bro.
Do I sound better, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay.
You sound fine.
I was like, I had my Yeti off, and I was like, you guys can still hear me. That's not
that's
good. That means
Is
the
it coming
Discord's
through
not
your phone?
that is not set to my Yeti.
Sounds better, but...
Is there
yeah.
any modifiers?
Dexterity.
Oh,
Dex. Or like a dex save, or just your dex modifier?
Just your dex modifier.
You know, almost as if we were, say, rolling for initiative.
Almost.
I realize, by the way, the Fern dice are really difficult to read.
That's because Ashley can never read her dice.
Sorry, Kira. I didn't mean to. It was an accident. I hit the button. Oh no!
Oh no!
Turn it back on.
There we go.
Sorry!
What is my dex? Okay. Oh, I can actually put this in the chat, unless you want us to say it out loud.
You can put it in the chat, it's fine.
Okay.
Most of us got 17s.
Ba-ba-da-ba-ba, Buca-da-beppo.
Okay, I have beef. I have beef with Buca de Beppo right now.
Boom.
It's really weird that you happen to say it.
Okay, so, Callan, as you enter the tavern, you take a quick moment to kind of look around, start to look for a table, when something draws the attention of almost everyone in the tavern. Over in the far corner, who you recognize, actually, Yagra. You see a small group has kind of gathered around her, and a shout kind of rings out, "You pig! You like killing my mates, does ya?" And you see Yagra is punched directly in the face. As she rises to her feet, she is a 7.5 foot tall half orc. And the three of them begin combat. Tommy, you notice this, have the fastest reaction time to this. You do see that the people that are surrounding her have weapons. Yagra, unless she is on the job, does not keep herself armed necessarily. So you have a choice whether you want to get involved or not.
Can I clearly see that there is a leader of this group? Like, how many are there? Does one of them clock me as a leader?
There are about 3. None of them really clock you as a leader.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna kind of get up. I'm gonna take my whiskey with me. Gentlemen, on today of all days, what's going on? Sure, we can talk this out.
Okay. Roll a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Sure. Make sure that my light is still on so I can read Fern's dice. Persuasion check. That is going to be a hot 13.
They don't seem to even register that you spoke to them, as they begin to get into this tussle. That will be your reaction to it. Mason?
Would I be able to
You
throw a
No,
bardic
it should be
inspiration to
Josh first.
Yagra?
Yeah, sure, you can do that.
Just be like,
Oh wait, no. Wait, Josh, were you saying 16 plus 4, or were you just saying you had a 16 but your dex was plus 4?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Oh,
gotta
okay,
say-
sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, so it is me.
Oh, Josh, yours is higher. I have a +3.
Okay.
Do I know of Yagra? Like, do I know of either groups that are starting this conflict?
Not really. You can make assumptions, but you don't know anything for certain.
Mason's torn because she's like, I gotta split this up, but these people hate my mom. Like, am I gonna get into a fight myself? She's gonna get up. Hey! You know you can't be doing that here. Can I, like, what's going on?
So you also roll a persuasion check, and if I could give you double disadvantage, I would. But for that, I can only give you
Hold on.
disadvantage.
I gotta say, so what the people see walking up
Oh my
Yes.
is this, like, 5'3" half elf. Pointy ears. She's got long brown hair, which also curls, kind of like mine does. What did I say? She's got, like, green eyes. She's got... Do I still have the... It's like this white dress, almost. Where is it? Kinda like this. This photo I've sent. Kinda. But the most notable, you see. is this large wizard's hat she has.
Oh my god.
You put on your hat and your wizard hat and robes? That's an early internet reference. Y'all will get that. Just fucking roll with it.
But she's got the cliche wizard's hat. Disadvantage?
Disadvantage.
1, please. 2. Give me a 2.
Okay, yeah. So you say this, and as you say this, you are kind of completely surrounded by a crowd now gathering around this fight. So
But
you are
she
kind of
looks like the kind of thing of, I really don't want to be doing this.
That's fair. With your stature, you are kind of immediately overcrowded and now have lost vision on the fight itself. Just from like where you're standing. But Dante?
Do any of these people mean anything to me?
No.
No?
No.
And it's the half orc, and then how many people are surrounding them?
3.
3? Is there kind of a circle forming of like just people like cheering?
Yes.
I'm gonna go push myself kind of to the front of that circle and just keep my hand on the handle of my blade. Just
Okay.
wait and watch what happens. I guess I'll hold an action.
Okay.
An attack action.
Okay. Let me send you a message really quickly. Hang on. Okay. Callan.
I was actually planning on doing a similar thing.
That is totally fine.
Yep, just holding an action, keeping my eye out if
Okay.
things get worse and or if people start getting really hurt.
Let's see. So Yagra at this point kind of rears back and knocks one of them on their ass with a very solid punch. As she does that, another one kind of takes a dagger and as she's moving, stabs it up into her rib cage, while the other one tries to take a short sword and kind of get her across the other side. They do hit. It's the way I'm not even rolling for it. So that's how that round. They kind of go back to back.
Silvery barbs.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and say like the one catching her in the rib cage probably did more damage.
Okay.
So I'm gonna see that kind of working and go. Excuse me, sir. Is that your fighting stance?
So I would say with silvery barbs, it does kind of like throw him off enough to miss. That will give Yagra a few extra hit points as things continue. And then the crowd kind of gets a little bit bigger. More people are now gathering around. And that will take us back up to the top with it being a Tommy's turn.
With my silvery barbs, I will go ahead and give Yagra advantage.
Okay.
On her next whatever roll she makes. So one of them has been knocked cold.
Just knocked prone. They're kind of struggling to get back up to their feet.
I'm just gonna kind of walk over to the prone guy. I'm gonna lean down to him. Right, just kind of rest a big like shoulder on his and just say, I've seen this woman fight. You really don't want this smoke. Just take your drinks and go.
Are you making an attack at all?
No, I'm trying to intimidate them.
Okay. Roll an intimidation check with disadvantage.
Can it cancel out because this is the one she actually knocked on his ass?
They're fighting for a reason, so no, I'm going to say the disadvantage sticks because there's a reason they attacked her.
That's fair. Yeah, all my charisma things are the same. That is 17.
He kind of slows on his getting up process. You're not sure if he's completely heeded your advice, but he heard you. As he gets up to his feet, he kind of like moves, and you see the palm of his hand for just a moment. You immediately recognize there is a circle tattoo with a eye in the center, and then 10 spokes kind of radiating outwards. You recognize this as Xanathar's symbol.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's on the guy who she
So-
intimidated.
No, not necessarily. Xanathar runs a guild. He is a. Your character wouldn't necessarily know this. We'll get to that eventually, but he's a beholder. He's kind of like a big crime lord in Waterdeep. He gets into a lot of trouble, but he's a very paranoid beholder, as most of them are. But he does have a guild that kind of do his bidding. Yes, that is an option. But yeah, so Mason, you are now kind of shoulder to shoulder with people, can't see a thing.
I'm gonna try and get out.
Okay.
I'm just essentially just this isn't worth it right now. I'm
Starts crawling.
disadvantageous. I'm not crawling, but I am holding my hat.
Make an athletics or acrobatics check for me.
If it doesn't work, she is gonna do something.
Okay.
Fuck my life. No.
So you try to move, and you were
8.
just like stuck in that position. No one is really. There's not enough space for you to slip between people right now.
No, I shouldn't do that.
I will say that could be your bonus action. If you really wanted to get out of here, you can use your action to disengage and shoulder your way out of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna use my action to disengage.
Okay. Dante?
Then paint the picture for me one more time.
So,
You see the small little half elf with the wizard's hat. Shoulder.
you see the tip of a hat in a crowd, and you're just really confused. No. So, you were kind of at the
Fucking
forefront.
wizard's hat.
You were at the forefront of this crowd. Let me also hang on one second.
I love it.
Yagra is bleeding. You saw a tiefling kind of redirect one of the attacks with a small flash of energy. That would have been a pretty bad blow otherwise. But she is kind of rearing back up to make another attack. One of the attackers has been knocked on his ass and is currently in the process of getting back up. There are still 2 on top of her, though.
Okay. I'm going to let my instincts get the better of me, and I'm going to dash forward. And as I do, from the bottom of the handle of my blade, 2 sharp, almost needle-like protrusions come out, and I dig my hand into it and pull back and just rip a large opening into the center of my hand. But blood begins to spill down the blade, and I'm going to take a strike with green flame blade.
Okay.
That is going to be a 24 to hit.
That hits.
For 9 points of slashing damage. And as I do, like, the blade rips through him. Instead of green flames, the blood kind of scatters across and boils and burns onto the next person for 5 points of damage.
Okay.
And I'm just going to stay right there in the fray.
All right. Callan.
How close am I to Dante to see this?
You'd push yourself to the front of the crowd, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to stay. Oh, me?
Yeah.
I'm kind of trying to stay a little bit further back. Not really making myself that known, but.
So then about 15 feet, but it would be rough terrain to get through the people.
Okay. That's no problem. Sweet. I'm gonna take. What the fuck do I have that's sharp? I guess I have a little dagger. I'm gonna take a dagger and just cut out like just a touch of blood. Have a drop of blood come off. And I'm gonna cast Bane on these 3 from afar.
What is the saving throw for that again?
Charisma. 15, apparently.
Nat 3.
So,
1 succeeds.
okay.
2 fail.
Great. Take it.
Okay. At this point, the one that you were speaking to, Tommy, does pull himself back up. He does kind of seem to shake off your words of warning, and makes another attack towards Yagra. He is the one that failed the Bane, so it does kind of immediately, like, just him trying to get up and make the attack, throws it off. He doesn't connect. The other 2 do connect with her. She once again kind of rears back, and at this point she kind of like picks up the table and like brings it around to smash it on top of one of them, and that does knock one of them completely out of the fight. It is the one that Dante attacked. He is now down for the count. It is the point we're back at the top. Things are going to change kind of rapidly right now. While everyone at the moment is kind of gathered around cheering and jaunting on this absolute brawl, there is a sudden shift from that cheerful, like, woo, kick his ass, to screams of pure terror. You can almost feel the ground kind of like shake underneath your feet. From that giant well in the center of the tavern, you see the beginning of a dark green hand reach out of it, pull himself up. Durnan is the only one who doesn't really seem to have a reaction. You just hear him go, "Troll!" As a troll crawls up from the Underdark. Attached to him are 9 bat-like figures that a few of you would recognize to be, actually really probably Mason would recognize to be sturges, basically just like leeches, but they do kind of like begin to fly off of this troll and begin to make attacks at the people surrounding them. Most people now are beginning to run for the exit. The bar brawl is kind of forgotten about by the people, not by the people in it, if that makes sense. So, with that all being said, Atami, it is your turn.
Well, shit. This has gone from bad to worse. I'm just gonna kind of look over and go, Yagra, darling, look alive. He's going to very kind of calmly walk as everybody is like rushing around him. And as he does, kind of pulls the King of Spades from his deck, and it just kind of starts to split multiple times and form this tunnel of kind of communication between him and the troll that kind of drowns out the noise from the tavern, so that when they kind of lock eyes, he just turns to him and says, "Retreat," and is going to cast Command.
Yeah.
Okay. What type of save is that?
Command is a good old-fashioned wisdom saving throw.
I thought so, I just want to make sure. Well, y'all, it's my first nat 20 of the campaign. That is a 19.
And you know what? I got one
Negative.
spell slot left, and this seems real freaking bad. So I am gonna Silvery Barbs this.
Can you Silvery Barb then cast a spell?
Yeah, because it's for
neither
reaction.
of them are bonus actions.
Oh, I didn't realize that you could. Okay, never mind. Thank you.
So he just kind of tacks on to it because he kind of sees him like about to shrug it off. He just kind of gives this little smile and goes,
Riddle.
That brings it to a 16.
That is still going to beat his DC.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
It would have been so good.
Yeah. So at this point, he's just kind of watches his cards kind of crumble to the ground. He goes, "That's not good." And is going to look over at Dante and say, "You've got quite the prowess with the blade. Think you would mind helping us out with this mess?"
I've got a plan.
I can't wait to see it. And I'm going to hand you a Bardic Inspiration.
Perfect.
Here you go. Take it.
You can also, because of the type of shit I have going on, you can add that to damage and to healing as well.
Okay.
Damn.
Lol.
Fancy.
Fancy schmancy.
That will be it for me. I'm going to stand about maybe 20 feet away from this thing.
Okay.
I assume the bar isn't, like, super big.
Surprisingly big, but that's still a good distance away.
Yeah.
And it's not completely done crawling its way up at the moment. Mason, that will bring us to your turn.
Have I got out of the mob?
I'm going to say it was a rough few seconds because the almost mob turned into a full mob with people rushing out of the tavern. So there were a few moments where that genuine fear of being trampled to death kind of kicked in. But majority of it has passed, and you do have enough room to breathe and extend your arms again and things like that.
Mason is going to hop up onto a table within 15 feet of the troll. And I'm gonna burning hands this fuck.
Okay.
How does that spell work again? There's 3 of them.
That is a nat 1 on the dexterity saving throw.
Each creature must make a dex saving throw. And then takes.
I'm also going to include one of the harpies in that who also fails.
Okay.
Harpies.
Oh,
No, Sturges, sorry.
16
Sure.
fire damage.
Okay.
So she just hops up onto a table, adjusts her hat, just like, before her fingertips touch, there's just like, you know how when it's real hot out and you look at something metal and you can see the steam going off of it?
Mhm.
That just starts like near her chest before she just pushes it out. And then it's like this this purplish fire that shoots out.
And you completely take out one of the Sturges. They kind of they're very leathery creatures. You can see it kind of like shrivel and wrinkle, and then it just drops back down into the Underdark below them. There are still 2 kind of flapping about. The other 7 are still attached to the troll at this time. But you do some good damage to the troll. That will bring us to Dante? Yes.
So it's climbing out of the hole.
Yes.
How far across is this hole?
About 25 feet from you.
I would like to move to the opposite side of the hole that he's climbing in.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to kind of lean down over the edge. I'm just going to stick my hand straight out, and those who are watching can see the palm that I draw the sword with. It has the same tarot card almost tattooed into the palm that hangs from the blade. And I'm going to cast Eldritch Blast, and just strings of blood pull from the tattoo into a ball in front of my hand, and it lashes out like a whip. And I'm going to try to attack this man.
Okay.
For a 19 to hit.
That hits.
Okay, so I have. Let me just look at the specifications.
Specification.
1 second, D&D Beyond. So I have the one invocation that allows me to pull things closer to me.
Okay.
So, yeah, so if I hit it with my Eldritch Blast, I can pull it 10 feet closer to me. So my goal here is to like whip this blood around it and pull it off the edge it's climbing and make it drop back down.
Okay. I'm going to say that it is about 10 feet wide, so they're going to have a chance to be able to hold on to it, but it'll be an athletics check with disadvantage.
Okay.
But what's your damage on that?
Oh, that is going to be, and I'll go ahead and use the Bardic Inspiration for this as well.
Okay.
Really creative, Josh. I love
Yes.
Thank you. That's pretty good. That's going to be 13 points of force damage.
Okay.
it.
It looks really fucking hurt. So as you kind of yank him, there is a moment where he momentarily loses that grip. But as he kind of goes to start like crashing back down, he does manage to hold on to the edge of it, and it kind of takes him back down. But he is still kind of clinging onto that edge.
Okay, and as I realize he's not coming down, I'll release the tether to him, and it will just liquefy into blood.
Okay, it kind of like spatters down onto him.
Delicious.
Callum.
All right. I definitely had a plan, and then I completely forgot what I was gonna do. Okay, I'm going to. I think I'm simply going to look at this troll. Kind of totally take my focus off the other fight that's probably still happening, I would assume, somehow around all this. And I will. Oh, okay. I guess I'm gonna conjure arms, and I'm gonna conjure a rapier in my hand.
Okay.
Hey, that's my spell.
Not anymore, it ain't.
Yeah. And I'm go up to the troll. I'm actually probably a little closer than the rest because I'm not up in this fray. And I will try to whack it with the rapier.
Okay.
It definitely hits. The natural 19 on the die.
Absolutely.
5. Amazing. And then... Oh, no, wait. Yeah, that's right. And then... Wow, I totally missed my dice tray. Ooh, decent. Okay, 6 and 5 is, what, 11?
Some spinach dip on your way back. Would you get me some spinach dip on your face?
Spinach dip!
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
11 points of rapier damage.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say, what the fuck is going on in this bar tonight? Tonight? What time of day is it?
It is night.
Okay. Okay.
I do believe the sun has fallen, if that's the distinction you want to make.
Beautiful.
So at this point, to continue attacking Yagura, they do knock her unconscious. She's bleeding out. They begin to make an exit for it. The troll drags himself up a few more feet before kind of like lashing out towards the last one that hit him, which would be Callan.
Ah, fuck.
That is a... Oh, shit. Okay. That's a 17 to hit.
Yeah. Bye-bye, guys. It was nice knowing you.
Silvery barbs.
Okay.
I'm gonna see this troll going to hit just an innocent person.
The 17
Whack the bitch.
is the lower one.
Oh,
But that is 8 points of piercing damage as it actually makes a bite attack at you.
Ow!
And then it's going to make some slam attacks. Oh god, natural 20.
Ah,
Oh.
And a
damn it!
3.
I'll silvery barbs it.
Okay.
Because I think I can do that.
Natural 19.
Beautiful.
But it's not a nat 20.
It's not a nat 20.
Not a nat 20.
We have stolen 2 of Caitlin's nat 20s today.
That's fine. Actually, I looked at the character sheets last night and I was like, these 3 of these bitches have silvery barbs. I'm
You
killing
all
everyone.
fucking have silvery barbs, yeah.
Come at me, babe.
Sweet,
That
that's-
is 15 points of slashing damage.
And 15?
Yes.
Holy shit, I'm down, y'all. Bye-bye. Nice knowing ya.
The Sturges are gonna also make some attacks.
See you never, bitches!
This is why I stole Xanathar's goldfish.
Mason.
Yeah.
So you are like not intricately, but you know of Sturges. They are those leech parasitic creatures. One of them kind of flies towards you and wraps those leathery bat wings around your arm as it begins to kind of like suction to some skin as it rips through your dress.
Is it not an attack roll?
It is. Does a 23 hit?
Yeah.
So that is
Caitlin, this was such a good campaign. Thank you so much for putting us.
thanks. 5 points of piercing damage.
So what happens is that like it attaches to my arm, but like there's this small little like inch before it actually touches me that it's just attached to this light, like this pink energy, as it just takes 5 from my arcane ward. It's only sucking my magic.
But yes, it does attempt to suck the blood out of you. It is still kind of currently hitting that ward that you have, but it's attached. And then Atami does an 18 hit.
Oh, most likely. Yes.
That is 7 points of piercing damage as one does it to you as well, although this one kind of like wraps around your shoulders and is attached at like the base of your skull.
Oh, absolutely not.
Only heard the last second of that. That sounds delightful.
But Atami, it is your turn again.
Okay. Cool. So, if I move, does this thing that's attached to me move with me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm cool with that, because it means I'm not leaving their threatened range. I'm just gonna kind of be like, would you... walk up, kind of put a hand on Mason's shoulder, and just be like, young witch, can you do that fire thing again?
Yeah.
Good. We're gonna stop playing fair. I'm gonna hop behind the bar, grab the draft hose, and I'm gonna spray the lot of them with alcohol.
Okay.
So I'm assuming that's object interaction.
Yeah.
Okay. Would I have enough movement left to get to Callan?
I'm gonna say not this turn.
Okay.
It's the thought that counts.
Cool. So I am then just going to kind of look over at Callan, who is bleeding out. And I'm going to say, not today. Today is not your day. I'm going to give you Bardic Inspiration. Which weirdly enough can be used for death saves.
That's
Shit.
cool.
Yeah, because they can just be added to saving throws, which it's a death
Nice.
saving throw.
Sweet.
Is that it for you, Tommy?
Yeah, I'll get as close to her as I possibly can and attempt to close the distance next turn.
Okay. Josh had to step out to go check on Papa. So we're gonna skip his turn for right now. It's Mason's turn anyway, actually, sorry.
I'm gonna take a deep breath. And I'm gonna do it again. The energy is gonna start on my chest as I'm just gonna ignore the surgeon on my arm and just burning hands the troll again.
Okay.
Get as many of those fucking
Um,
surgeons as possible.
Add an extra 2d6 to the damage.
Did he fail the save?
Nat 1.
Oh, you
Amazing.
Lucky.
19 fire damage.
So he had 4 hit points. So you once again kind of channel this inner energy and release it out in front of you. And he is still kind of like he dragged himself up a little bit more, and you watched as he slammed his fist repeatedly into this man in front of you and absolutely just crushed him into the floor. But as you do this, there's a moment where he kind of still teeters on that edge before just collapsing backwards, and he falls back, and you kind of listen for just a moment. You never hear him make connection with the ground.
Shit.
So he is now gone. And yeah, is there anything else you want to do?
Can I, like, object interact, try and just peel this thing off my arm?
So it is an action to try to remove them.
Okay. Then that's it.
Okay.
I'm staying on the table.
Josh, we'll be back. Can I please get a death saving throw, Callan?
Wait, is it with advantage?
So
Is
it's
that
adding
what
a
is it?
d6.
You
Plus a
can
D6.
add a d6, but you can do it after the roll.
Oh.
So, if it's successful, then don't worry.
It totally fails, and there's no way I'm gonna be able to succeed either way. So
Okay, it's less than 4.
Yeah.
1 failure. What is it?
2.
Okay, at least it wasn't a nat 1.
Yes, thank God.
Okay. So at this point, the 2 members of Xanathar's guild that are still up, both dash towards the door. They do manage to get like just past the threshold of the door. The Sturges are going to once again try to suck your blood. Mason, that is 7 points of piercing.
It at the end it does break through my ward.
And Atami, that is 6 points of piercing damage.
Oh, so they don't have to roll for attack now?
No, they are connected to you now.
Oh, okay.
Delicious. I want to suck your blood.
Yagra makes a death saving throw. You're not sure how that turned out. And that'll bring us back to the top of Tommy.
Wonderful. So I'm not exactly the, like, attacking type. So I think I would use my action to try and get Callan up.
Okay.
So this thing is like very clearly like draining my blood, and
Yeah.
like he's getting weak, but he's like, oh, I have seen better days. Is going to walk over to Callan and is going to pull out his healer's kit. And is going to restore a grand total of... What in the actual fuck?
What
in
the actual fuck?
Again.
And we're all level 2, right?
Yes.
So you have 2 hit dice. So that is 9 points of healing to you.
Nice.
Thank you so much.
So Callan, the last thing you remember is watching as that troll lunged towards you and bit you, and then raised both fists up just to beat you into the ground. Now you kind of wake up on your back. Your head is kind of spinning. And just see a tiefling crouched above you.
Excuse me, sir. Not the time for lying down on the job. Could you, do you have some pest control that you could... Actually, and I'm gonna look up at the only person who hasn't changed his Discord thing. What's his character's name?
Dante.
Dante! And just kind of be like, good sir, would you mind... Oh, would you mind...
I'll say
I'll
he
give
Eldritch
him,
Blast him.
Yeah, I'll give him
That's a pretty
bardic
solid
inspo.
guess.
He blasts him, it dies.
He just... Thank you!
They don't have very many HP.
Oh god. I'm just gonna sit for a second.
Are you alright?
Seen better days. I think the witch still has one on her.
Yes, Mason, that brings us to your turn. There is still one attached to your arm.
Can I tell how much damage this fucker needs to get off me?
Poke.
How much has it done so far to you?
Like me personally
To
or in
you
total?
personally.
3.
Or 3.
It would probably be about 2 more turns then.
Of me causing damage to it?
No. Normally, what you know about surges is they drain a certain amount of blood, they don't do enough to kill, and they move on. So you would know that it's still kind of hungry, but it will eventually get its fill and move on.
Stop the back.
I'm going to... I'm gonna put my hand on it. And I'm just gonna be like, I really don't want to do this today. What was that? What was that spell? I'm gonna attempt to cast. I'm gonna turn away from everybody. I'm gonna attempt to poison spray.
Okay.
But
Go
I
ahead and
have
make
to.
me an Arcana check.
What if you
Yeah.
poison sprayed yourself, and then like your blood turned
What was-
poisonous? Would it die?
It's a- Yeah.
Arcana? We good, boys. I had to beat a 10. I got like a 19.
Beautiful.
So I'm just gonna like hold. And I'm just like, what? How'd that go? And then just poof. 6 damage.
So you release this small spray of poison, and you're kind of proud of yourself because, like, you weren't sure if you're gonna be able to pull it off. You're like, hell yeah! And the thing that is attached to you, its grip kind of loosens and it just kind of slides to the floor. You guys are out of combat. I'm going to make another death saving throw for Yagra.
I was gonna say.
And at that point, I will rush over to her. Just be like, he goes to like sit down, and then he kind of hears her, still dying. And it's like, right, sorry, it was the blood loss. And is going to make his way over and is going to attempt to use his healing kit on her as well.
Okay.
And if that works, it is going to be 4 plus 4 is 8. How many hit die does she have? Is Yagra stat blocked?
I don't know if she has. We'll say 3.
3? Perfect. 11 points.
All right, she's back up and in business.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, not one of my more gossamer attacks, I suppose. But the save is much appreciated.
Is everyone okay?
I'm now better, at least.
I've never seen a creature come back out of there. Only fools go in.
Yeah, well, I think he was there for a while.
I think
Have a
he's
feeling he
native
did not go in
to the
there
area.
willingly.
Yeah, I think he lived there. So everybody's all right.
I'm not alright, Dornan says at the end of the bar still. Look at the fucking damages he caused.
It wouldn't be the first time, would it?
Can I look
No.
over it? Can I look at the singes and just say, I don't know if all of that is from the troll, actually.
I don't really care about that. You guys did what you could, so we didn't do more damage. I can forgive that. But fuck. Also, Yagra, what the fuck are you up to? You see the half orc is kind of like still sitting on her ass. She looks fucked. She's healed, but like she looks kind of fucked up still.
Yeah.
As she kind of looks over, I'm just gonna give her like a sad wave.
Oh, this is the first time Mason's actually seeing everybody because she was in the mob.
Oh yeah.
Yagra kind of takes a deep sigh. Look, I didn't do anything that I wasn't instructed to do. People die. They shouldn't try and kill me over that, alright?
Cheers to that.
Yagra's gonna get a message, cantrip, to her that is just like, not like you to leave survivors.
She can't. Can she respond to the message?
Yep.
Like, without. Okay, I can't remember.
She can whisper it.
I didn't.
That's more concerning. Frizz said something's bad's going on. I can only assume that this is related.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah, something's
always-
going on in the south side. Something's going on in the south side as well.
Something's going on in South. What seems to be the issue?
Not sure. I was just told not to go back. That's why I came here.
This whole place has been relatively quiet. I don't know. I haven't heard much going on.
There's always something going on in Waterdeep,
Out
let's
of
be
the
honest here.
ordinary, of course.
Oh,
I'm still on the table. I have to feel tall in front of all of these over 6 foot tall people.
We are all very tall.
you're like at eye level with me. Like,
Yeah,
I'm just like,
I'm only 5'3".
my apologies. Tommy. He kind of holds his hand out to Mason.
Mason will shake it. Mason?
And you all?
Oh, of course. Dante, pleasure's all mine.
You're quite handy with that blade there.
Yeah, I've had some practice here and there.
No further questions.
You all did fairly well. Not many people around here can pull their weight like that. I commend you.
I know a few tricks here and there. Fancy myself a bit of a magician of sorts.
I saw a little bit of that. Very compelling.
Thank you.
And you, the fancy one. Are you going to introduce yourself?
Killian Randolph Tristan Calendare the Fourth. Pleasure to make your
I'm sorry, could you say that one more time?
Could you repeat that?
A bit slower.
And louder.
I heard Killian.
Randolph
Randall,
Calendare
Tristan, Calendary,
Fourth.
the fourth. Sorry, there were 3 others with
You
that
all
name.
may call me Callan.
A pleasure to make your acquaintance, Mr. Callan.
Yours as well.
So it is at this
I
point-
hear
You
a
guys-
fourth in this.
you-
Do I
you
recognize the last name?
You don't.
Ah,
I
It
need
is
to
not.
make a last name for myself. I didn't think that far
You
ahead.
notice he eye rolls when he like introduces himself, and whether you take that as a has to say it again or he hates having to repeat this shit.
I'm
That's
sorry, what
up
was
to you.
the full name? It's Killian?
Killian, Randolph, Tristan,
Wait,
Callan-
Randolph?
Randolph,
Randolph.
Tristan,
Tristan.
Calendary, with a little
The
accent
fourth.
over the E, the first E.
an accent éclat.
And alright, Killian, are you alright? You were on the floor for a little bit there.
Callan is fine. And I'm doing all right now.
We should probably seek proper medical services and also report this. Do we?
It is also at this point where the tavern
Another
doors
fucking
are
troll.
flung open. A man in with like a very audacious, like large mustache, very tight scarf, fancy top hat, waltzes in. Doesn't even really register the scene in front of him, but sees you all grouped together. Ah, yes, you all must have seen my notice. I am Volo, the chronicler, celebrity of Waterdeep. I'm sure you've noticed the violence in about the city the past 10 days. I mean, I haven't seen this much violence since I've gone to Baldur's Gate, but I did have a friend that went missing, so if you all could help me with that, that would be most gracious.
Of course, of course.
With all due respect, sir, I did not receive your notice.
Neither did I.
Just happened to be here, but could you tell me more about what is happening?
Yeah, did any of you see the notice?
I did, actually. That's
Oh,
what
good.
brought-
Glad to know the gold wasn't wasted. Yes, so I have a friend who is more beauty than he is brains, but he and I were out drinking the other night. We
Familiar
shared a few drinks, and I left. I never saw him again. It's been 3 days. That's normally not like him. I'm worried. I'm worried.
Where were you
Have-
drinking? Here?
No, I was actually drinking the Skewered Dragon down deeper in the Dark Ward.
Well, let's start with the basics. What was their name?
Floon?
Floon. And does the last name?
Yeah, you do. Blagmar.
Or sounds like a fellow of high society if I've ever heard one.
Oh, he is.
All right. And around what time did all this happen? What time did you leave him?
I left him close to midnight. I mean, he was pretty shit faced, but he normally gets pretty shit faced, so I wasn't too worried about it.
Very well.
Nobody, I guess, is good news so far.
Yeah.
Do you know if this man had any acquaintances, enemies?
He was really just a pretty face. He wasn't smart enough to be in the politics. He's good looking, you know.
Is
He
gullible?
didn't have any big enemies or allies necessarily.
Would
Is
he
he
have
gullible
been
by
smart
chance?
enough to not wave his wealth around?
Oh,
Alexa,
absolutely.
you gotta
yeah.
turn your mic up.
Ah! Is he gullible by chance?
A little, yeah, but normally, I mean, he's never gotten himself into something like this before.
Well, you know, I was joking about the nobility part, but are his family wrapped up in any sort of political affairs?
Not to my knowledge.
You always have to ask. You never know.
Is there anybody that wanted him dead?
No?
Can we get that name, by the way, in the chat?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
And then
You're a lovely
Have
human.
any of us heard of this? Oh, I was so
I got
Um,
it, but didn't get the spelling.
The name isn't inherently familiar to anyone. It sounds like a lower level noble, if anything, like not one that's well super known. But yeah.
I'm gonna look back at Drogdra.
Yagra.
Yagra.
Yo, draga.
Phenomena.
Thank
Thank you. I'm gonna look back at Yagra and just be like, do you think you could get back home?
Isn't that the exact problem we're running into here with this fellow?
I can make it back home just fine, I promise. Yeah. Could I speak to you outside for a moment?
Yeah, I'm just going to tend to my friend's injuries here. I'll be but a minute.
Take your time.
I will
So
step out.
she does. Look, I don't know if this is the guy that he's talking about or what's going on, but a few of us did wrangle up 2 men leaving the Skewer Dragon 3 days ago.
Okay.
So, start in the Candle Lane.
Start in the Candle Lane?
Yes, which you know that there are a few warehouses that are under your jurisdiction in that area, that she was basically telling you to start looking there.
Lose the ones inside, you think?
And not necessarily if they can help. Just don't get yourself involved.
Fair enough.
I'd still check out the Skewer Dragon. The patrons may know more, but I did hear wind about some of that going on.
On the off chance that this isn't one of the ones you wrangled, could you have Ruby run through the name, see what she knows?
Sure.
You're a gem. Try not to get jumped on your way home.
She gives you a very firm handshake. Head home.
And I will rejoin. This is the Candle something?
Candle Lane.
Candle Lane.
Good name.
Well,
It is at this point that Volo is reaching into his pockets and producing little satchels of gold pieces. He hands one to each of you just for hearing him out for it, and there's 10 gold pieces inside, or 10 dragons inside.
was this the amount disclosed on the notice board?
He just said a hefty sum on the notice board, but as he's handing this out, look, if you can find him, I promise 100 gold pieces to each of you.
Can I insight check, motherfucker?
Absolutely.
I would like to as well.
Go ahead.
let us insight check the motherfucker.
Sure, we're all gonna insight check the mother.
Oh my
While we're at it,
God,
Caitlin, how
guards are
much
stupid.
gold did we start with?
What?
How much gold did we start with?
Starting gold, so it would be based on your class and background.
Sweet. Assume that is about right.
And if you took starting gear, you would just get what came with your background. Also, I rolled like a 9.
Only the filthiest, the dirtiest of 20s.
Okay.
I got a 21.
Okay.
I am running the. I was worried about money.
Money.
Terrible. 10.
So Dante, despite you knowing that Volo does not have money, you believe him. Same for you, Callan. Okay, 100 gold pieces sound good. The two of you see right through that shit. This man is offering something that he knows he cannot produce.
Well, that works for me.
Sounds
You know, I
okay.
think I might have to pass.
What? Are you? Please. He's a dear friend of mine. I really could use the help.
Have you brought it up to the authorities? If you had
Yeah,
somebody gone missing.
they're a bit
law
thin
is
stretched
very
these days. They went missing the night of Howldown starting.
What?
I'll kind of clock that me and Mason have kind of seen through his shit.
And I will also add to that, he's there will be a reward of some sort, whatever he can manage for you. It is just that 100 gold pieces is him just desperately trying to entice you into it.
I'm just gonna kind of send like a message cantrip, just like we know this man is a charlatan, but it would be nice to at least see what's going on here.
I think it's only fair that I help out, I guess.
Thank you. Thank you all. I'll be here. Let me know any updates.
I wouldn't recommend sticking around here. At least, maybe not for tonight.
Yeah.
Troll came
You
out
just
through the yawning portal.
Is it dead?
As far as we know, we didn't hear a thud.
Well, you never do. It's too deep. Ah,
I assume at some point there will be a thud and from that fight.
we just probably won't hear it way up here.
If you would like to combat the
Um,
next thing that comes out, then enjoy. You may have my ale.
I'm willing to risk it. I've already paid for the room for the night.
Fair enough. You have yourself a wonderful night, Mr. Volo.
To you as well.
I'll kind of exit the tavern and wait for everybody else to come with.
Um,
What are we thinking?
I'm thinking I came here to get drunk and then ran into some more problems. Shall we go to a different bar? Perhaps the... I can't read my handwriting. Skewered Dragon.
Worst
Get
case
drunk there,
scenario, they
perhaps?
at least have some ale.
Fair enough.
Aaron answers.
What
So,
do I know about the Skewered Dragon? Have I performed there, or is this like the divest of dive bars?
Tommy,
Yes.
you are very familiar with the Skewered Dragon. It is not somewhere that you would ever perform, but the Black Network is prevalent in that bar.
Network.
Fair enough. If that is the case, he is going to kind of forge himself a bit of a disguise. You know, a little bit of a, you know, a little bit of foundation and stuff to kind of make him look human. Hat to hide the horns. Basically, whatever visage he would most likely show when he's there. And is like in full view of these people, because he kind of, there's a part of him that's like, who's gonna believe you? That's like people being like, you know, I saw Mariah Carey in the red light district. Like, sure you did. Just I've come down here every once in a while. It's, you know, it's a place where you want to know someone.
So are we making our way there?
Yes. In the meantime, Is this like a notice board thing? Did Dante take this off the notice board? Does he have it with him?
No, it is still on the notice board.
Do we pass the notice board as we're going by?
No, not. It is more like the dead center of town.
Okay.
So it's not really close to the yawning portal.
Okay. Fair enough.
But on the way, you begin winding your way through the streets. Like I said, the dock ward is not the best neighborhood. There are tall, densely packed buildings, leaving most of the neighborhood in shadow at the ground level. Most of the street lamps have had their glass smashed and their candles stolen. And these smells of salt air and excrement linger as you pass by rows of rundown buildings. As you guys turn down one of the corners on the way, you do see the street that you are trying to turn onto cordoned off by City Watch. They are beginning to roll out ropes. There are about half of a dozen scattered bodies on the ground. And as you guys start to make your way down that road, one of the City Watch turns to you and just says, "Get on. There's nothing to see here."
Yes, sir.
Certainly doesn't appear that way. Very well.
You all kind of move away from that. They made it very clear you are not to get close. But you pass by a few different locations. One of the more notable ones that you pass by would be Old Zoblob's shop. The thing that you notice mostly is hanging above the door, there is a stuffed beholder.
Oh, that sounds problematic. Can you spell that again?
XOBLOB.
Way off.
I'm sure that
XOBLOB.
Zobrob.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Now, without this turning into a, do you know Pumat Soul thing, do I, are the two beholders in Waterdeep friendly?
It's a stuffed beholder.
You know that this beholder is a stuffed beholder. You know the other beholder is not one that you ever want to find yourself in company of.
Yep.
He is very paranoid, especially against you.
I have a feeling we may run into that later.
Not if I play my cards right. See, it's funny because I got a deck of cards. So I'm just gonna kind of look up, shake my head, avoid that shop, not doing that.
You are kind of semi-familiar with the shop. It is ran by a rock gnome, who, actually, no, a deep gnome, sorry. He just sells mostly trinkets and doodads and shiny things. But yeah, it's normally a pretty chill shop.
Okay, so, yeah, I think I'll actually just be like, do you guys want to pop in and take a look around for a second?
I'm in no
I
rush.
have no objections. Maybe they've seen something.
That's what I'm thinking. Or, worst case scenario, we can wait out the blockade.
Might have to wait a while on that one.
So as you guys enter, a cloud of lavender-scented purple smoke trails out of the shop's door as you peer inside. Every wall is painted purple. Every dusty knickknack has been dyed deep violet. There's a hairless old gnome sitting cross-legged on the counter, wearing plum-colored robes. His cheeks are decorated with 9 purple face-painted eyes, and he kind of is smoking from a pipe, which is where that lavender smoke is coming from. Before he raises a hand towards you all, "Well met! What are you looking for tonight?"
I think I just found what I was looking for.
Oh, perfect! Bring it on up here!
What a fine establishment you have, friend. What all do you sell here?
Things are like.
Okay. What kind
What's
of?
your favorite thing in this shop?
Oh, you see, he turns around and he produces just a what would be like a medieval fidget toy. It's just a spinny thingy that is also a deep violet shade.
A medieval fidget spinner.
My dude produced a Waterdeep fidget spinner.
Oh my god!
Yo, coming to a Campfire Stories shop near you.
I like to play with it, and he's just sitting there spinning it.
It's delightful. Where did
Can
you
I
make
roll
it?
an
Or did
insight
you
check to
find
see if
it?
he's just quirky or if he's on some shit, like if he's tweaking?
Yeah, go ahead.
Uh,
Did
what-
you make it, or did you come across it?
Ascertained it.
Give him a little bit of a side
15.
eye. And like a nod of respect.
What was that, Kira?
15.
He's not in a sound state of mind. Not necessarily like usage of any sort. He's just a little crazy.
Okay.
Most people living in the dock ward are they're not the sanest.
Yep, that's fair. Just wanted to make sure if this purple smoke is something I should, be worried about getting a contact high from, or like, am I gonna end up like Crazy Bones over here? As Dante's distracting and talking about like stuff, and they're, spinning medieval Beyblades around, I'm just gonna kind of be casually walking around and just ritual detect magic.
So
Yeah, that's gonna be.
only one thing catches
What?
your attention in this entire shop. This is mostly just small trinkets. Like he said, he sells what he likes. But the stuffed beholder hanging from the door is a magic item.
Ma'am.
Ooh, school.
Mason was doing the same thing of virtually casting detect magic.
You both ping this.
Do we ping the school?
I don't know what school it is.
Every time Kira asks, I'm always like,
It's typically
Hang on,
you
let
gotta
me
go with
see
like,
if I can-
what does it do, and then what school would that be?
do, what do it do?
One moment.
I don't know if that. I think
So like, for instance, if it's supposed to keep watch over something, or like be a
Well, I
scrying
think
type
with
thing, be like divination.
with detect magic, it's just you learn at school. I think identifies you learn what it does.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
right.
But no, I'm saying like as a DM, if you're like, well, this doesn't say a school, you're like, well, figure out, what it does, and then kind of go.
You assume that I have all of the schools of magic memorized. It is divination.
Okay. Cool. Fair enough. As thing with multiple eyes can see shit. That makes sense. A lot of goings on around here. Guards and wards, as far as the eye can see. Have you seen or heard anything going on around here?
I don't know. Have you?
Well,
He seems automatically very defensive of that. Make a persuasion check for me.
Cool. And how long does this last?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, and as this is, I'm just gonna cast Friends on this man.
Okay.
On this lovely, lovely man.
I think it's an hour, right?
It's a minute.
That's
So-
only a minute.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna get what information I need and get the fuck out of his shop before he realizes I'm a magic.
Oh god.
Oh, that's both of those dice are tasty. And it's persuasion, so I'm guessing that's one of my many sixes. So 24.
Okay. So he kind of immediately bristles up. You cast your spell. Calms back down. There's always something going on. What are you looking for?
I've been hearing a lot of violence going on.
Yeah, you could say that.
But nothing any more specific. What should we What should we be watching out for?
Large groups of people looking to kidnap you. Saw that a few nights ago.
Oh, wow, around
Does
the
that happen often here?
around the spinning dragon. Tommy definitely knows the name of it, but there's a lot of things in Waterdeep to keep track of.
Skewered.
Skewered dragon.
Well, I saw it from the window. They could be coming from there, though.
Yes.
What did you see exactly?
Well, there was two men, kind of fancy dressed. And then it looks like about 5 people, maybe, jumped them, kicked the shit out of them, and dragged them away.
Did you see what direction they were dragged?
Yeah, down further that way.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
There was also, I saw a tattoo of a winged snake on one of their hands.
Does that ring
Is that a
any bell?
religious thing?
Make a history check for me, those that are interested in Tommy. You know what this is.
I will not be making any sort of check, and instead will, at the sound of this, leave the shop and wait outside.
I got a 13.
15.
16.
You may have all heard it in passing. You do recognize this to be one of the markings of the Zentarum.
And sorry, what was the tattoo? What did it look like again?
It was a winged snake.
Suppose I should have guessed that, honestly. It was either that or the other one.
What other one?
Don't worry about it. If you know, you know, you know.
Kind of narrows his eyes at you.
I'll be leaving. It's been a pleasure.
I will step out into the street.
Do you have any more of those spinny gadgets?
Not like that.
I leave at that. I head
Something
out when they
similar.
ask that.
I do have this one, and he goes and reaches like underneath the desk again. And this time it's one of those like you know the bubble wrap.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
like
like
the
a poppet?
little bubble wrap poppers that you can pop
Yeah.
over and over again.
Beautiful. Is it like a copper? I want it.
Roll a persuasion check.
50 plus right now.
14. I rolled shit.
I'll give it to you for a copper. I like this one better anyway.
Sounds delightful.
Before we get to the skewer dragon, I do want to take a quick break.
Yes.
Yes.
We are going to go for a bit of a break. We will see you guys
BRB.
on the other side.
We promise we'll be back this time and not like last time.
Maybe.
Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe no promises.
Anybody get my water joke?
I didn't hear a water
No.
joke.
Kira said water deep, and I said shore.
Oh,
God awful.
god dang it, Danny. And we're back.
Good
Hello.
place to start.
I was
Um,
very proud of that
everybody-
joke.
I sound better now. Hi, everyone.
Hello. So you guys are making way to the Skewer Dragon Tavern. This place is a ruin. I mean, it is in shambles. The people going in and out are shady looking motherfuckers. Through the windows, you can see a group of haggard patrons drinking from huge tankards. This is definitely not a place you would want to go by yourself. But you make your way inside as a group. Atami, are you disguised where no one would recognize you?
Not exactly that no one would recognize me. This is kind of the persona that I use if I'm ever here.
Okay,
Right?
gotcha.
So I just look like a blended in shady motherfucker.
Okay.
Can I also just kind of, I feel like a snap, like a very subtle, but snap. And my clothes look basically the same, but less pompous somehow.
Okay.
But not that much.
An
Like, it's
attempt was
trying to
made.
fit in. It's what?
An attempt was made.
Yes. You want to know what my brain heard you say?
I really
shit.
probably don't.
I thought you said a shampoo mane. I don't know. Man, this is how I hear things. Fine. We're good.
We're gonna let that one percolate.
This is how it's a struggle, guys. This is how I hear everything. It doesn't make any sense, and I have to try. Because context clues don't make sense. It's like this doesn't.
Alexa, we love you for
Thank
who
you.
you are and all of your crazy.
The purple smoke got to me.
It gets to you eventually. Going inside the Skewer Dragon, do I recognize anyone?
Tashira immediately makes eye contact with you.
I'm sorry. Did you say Ashira?
Tashira.
Oh. I was like, cross campaigning already?
Quick question: have I been here before? I feel like I have.
Probably.
Okay.
Have I been here?
Cool.
No.
Okay.
Most definitely. You and Mason have never been here.
Sweet.
Is she here on
I'm just
her own?
gonna.
Yes.
I'm gonna kind of look back towards the other three. Don't stray from each other. And have backs covered.
You know, I barely know any of you. And yet, feel like that's probably good advice to stick together today.
Especially on this side of town.
It seems it. Also, perhaps watch your coin purse.
I'm already gone weaving through people to get to Tashira.
Okay. She never once looks away from you.
Tashira.
Ever.
Yep.
And as you get close enough, are simple instructions too hard for you to fucking understand?
Suppose you'll have to say them a little bit slower and a little bit more clear.
Stay away. How clear was that?
Well, I apologize. It got a little bit muddled after the troll came out of the yawning portal.
What?
Oh, I'm sorry. Do I have your attention?
Sit down.
Takes a seat. Kind of slaps his hands over like this. Just kind of leans on his hands. The following conversation that happens will be purely message cantrip.
Okay.
Just facial expressions back and forth.
So what started out as Yogra being jumped by two of Xanathar's men, and we'll put a pin in that for now, but we'll get back to that. ended up with a bunch of these bat-like leech things on top of a troll coming out of the yawning portal.
Well, shit.
Yeah. Luckily, I wasn't the only one there that had a little bit of prowess with the arcane and killing people.
I see that. They don't look like regulars.
What gave it away, the giant wizard hat?
Oh, no, it's actually the pompous-looking asshole.
Valid point. That was the one that went down, actually.
Figures.
The one with the wizard hat killed the fuck.
Took care of him. Yogra's okay. But, and now, speaking of, someone who doesn't exactly know, when to lay low, Volo's going around town, being the loudest he's been in a long time, and that's saying something.
Over what?
Tasahira, no secrets between us now. 3 days ago, this place, 2 men. One of them, apparently, according to Volo, has a name. The other one, I suppose he couldn't give less of a fuck about.
Fuck.
Yeah, and when I say he's being loud, I mean big ol' reward on a notice board, center of town, and the loudest, most easy-to-spot man in Waterdeep making a fuss.
I don't think anyone would miss him if I just killed him.
Miss him? No. Notice.
I'm sure they would notice, but Jesus, with everything else going on, it could probably fly under the radar.
Do what you feel needs to be done, but...
We're not that loud. Anyway, I don't know who the fuck Volo, why he would care who got took. Who is he looking for?
Man by the name of Floon.
Does it ring any bells?
Even though I am pausing, Tommy definitely already knows the last name, and he is giving...
Blagmar.
He is giving it. Blagmar. No.
Look, all I know is Raynor Neverember was in here, boasting, as he always does. When she says the name, it is familiar to you. So a couple years ago, there used to be a High Lord of Waterdeep. His name was Daggalt Neverember. He is now currently like the leading political figure in Neverwinter. But Renar is his son.
And he's basically just like a rich kid's like boasts about his shit all the time. Do you know who my father is?
Exactly. So,
since when is that our business?
Since the money got involved. Not sure what you know of Neverember. While he was High Lord, he was extorting dragons out of the city. Loads, like 500,000 dragons. And then he hid it all. No one knows where it is, including himself.
Huh. Some sort of memory-altering substance or spell, I suppose, so that he couldn't be questioned?
Yeah, listen, if I tell you things, this stays between us. Are we clear? Your Scooby-Doo gang over there does not get involved.
I barely remember their names. One of them has like 4.
Perfect.
Canon?
Yeah. It's a popular play.
Yes! I remember the legend of the dog Scoobers.
Scoobers!
That is his fucking name.
Alright, look.
Sorry.
What started this all is the answer to where the dragon hoard is in this thing called the Stone of Galore. basically, it is, I don't fucking know, an aberration at some point, but no longer an aberration. Neverember put his memories into this stone. We had it. We were giving it to Xanathar, and it went missing. And Xanathar killed our entire party, thinking that we stole it back for whatever fucking reason. So that's why there's so much bloodshed right now between the two of us. And now the stone is just gone.
Since
With
when
the
do we
answer
give
to a
shit to Xanathar?
to try to end this stupid blood war we have going on.
I didn't think
We're
we were
dying,
allies.
they're dying. If we keep going like this, there's not going to be anything left.
I just didn't think we'd be the ones to bend the knee.
Well, you remember how I said shit was changing?
Yeah.
Half of us bent the knee. The other half broke form and separated.
Went rogue.
Yeah.
Who could have seen that coming? Half of
I
a
know.
party of underground shady people maybe not being told what to do by the rival gang. So, the other half of the party took the stone, fucked off into the woods somewhere.
I don't think so.
Then what
I
happened?
think someone else got involved and got it. I don't know who. Maybe someone Neverember sent, but it wasn't anyone on our side. As angry as the other half was, they wouldn't have led to this much bloodshed.
Where are the two being held now?
Candle Lane.
Yep. Would you mind if I had a talk with them?
I guess. If you can leave Neverember. I mean, that's kind of our big bargaining chip. I don't care what you do with the other guy.
Well, currently we have two bargaining chips. One who's a face, and the other who is, suppose, quill to parchment. Volo's an idiot. But
Yes.
he's decently respected. So, might know things. Let's try to keep the dagger at hand, but not point it at the back just yet.
Fine.
Also, for as weird as they fucking look, they're good. Like, the witch lady set the troll on fire. Shady cloak, raspy voice over there, like, did some really cool trick with a flame blade.
People can surprise you.
You don't have to worry about me. But I'll be in touch. And I will stay out of things that aren't my business.
That's appreciated. And don't ever bring her back here again. She looks like a fucking cop.
Me?
You have a pair of gloves on you?
Sure. She pulls out a pair from her pocket.
Just gonna kind of put gloves on, just in case. And I will get up and I will see what these guys have been doing in the meantime.
Okay,
Oh man,
so
I thought you were putting on gloves because you were coming to kill me. Like, what I do?
I just come and go over. All right, guys, we gotta leave.
Were the three of you speaking to anyone, or were you just kind of standing in the entranceway?
We were actually. I was texting Danny the whole time. We had a very awkward
brief,
conversation.
Awkward conversation.
Nice.
And I started
Here, we'll
up
act
with
it out.
Josh.
We'll act it out.
Oh, perfect. Here. Hold on. In the role of Callan, I'll be Alexa. Alright.
The following stage production is brought to you by Waterdeep
By the
Dragon
letter.
Heist.
There you go. Have you been here before?
Nope.
Well, it's the first time for everything. Both of us. So, sorry, I can't keep a straight face. So you killed the troll earlier, then?
I did.
You seem pretty skilled as the magic arts at the academy.
I was top of my class. What do you do here in Waterdeep?
Well, I also made top marks at the Gillingham Academy outside of town. Met my friend Donatella Schrin there, currently staying with his estate. Not doing much else here in town.
Cool.
Alrighty then. Well, and I walk over to Dante. That's exactly.
And I follow.
That's me in time down.
This is all,
Well,
by
we've
the way, shit you guys were saying out loud in the shadiest bar on planet Earth.
Yes,
Cool.
of course.
We weren't talking very loud, just trying to make conversation.
And then we walk over to the guy with the sword.
Yeah, and then I walk over to John to Dante and I say, have you been here before?
Yes, but not recently. Not since all the violence has broken out.
Makes sense. That's as far as we got before.
And then we continued.
And then we continued.
The two of you seem really out of place, not only here, but also at the tavern. So, one is
The two of us.
both of you, yes, you both. I'm familiar with people of a higher social class. One of you seems rather studied, and the other seems to have lived some sort of a posh lifestyle. So, what made you get involved, I guess?
I kind of just ended up here. It's a long-winded story, and one I'm hopefully not going to get into, but who knows?
And you?
Needed a plate. I needed a plate. I lost the accent.
You don't.
I needed a place, I did.
Accents
I
are
needed
hard,
a-
guys.
That's true.
Take 4.
Fucking Danny.exe has stopped working.
Yeah.
It'll come. Just
I
roll with
needed
it.
a place for the. I needed a place for the night.
Understandable.
Sure, that's why you ended up at the tavern.
Well, yeah, Mama told me not to go home. Spent multiple nights there before.
Right. With granted, I've been there before to have a few drinks with my friend. However, I really can't imagine staying the night there.
It's not too bad, really. They have nice accommodations. The beds are soft, the drinks are cold, and the food's hot.
The giant hole in the floor doesn't forebode darkness, I suppose.
Well, I guess it really depends on the lifestyle you lead. If you're an adventurer, it's almost enticing.
Adventure.
To
It's pretty rare that things come back up.
Would you all consider yourselves adventurers?
No.
not on purpose.
Yeah, by accident then.
Somewhat. Adventurer is a loose term for criminal.
I can see that.
Is there anybody listening into this conversation?
Make
Great
a
question.
perception check.
No, mine's too. Head. No, thank you.
18.
People are visibly leaning towards you.
Oh, beautiful. We're just. So yes, I mean, as it's an interesting adventuring, but I've never thought about it. Really.
Hey, so while you guys can stay here. I'm gonna go chill outside. Well,
we were told
Are we?
to stick together for a reason. He looks a little uncomfortable.
yeah. Well, you want to come with me then?
You two
Sure.
go together, and I'll see if I can pick up some more information.
Alrighty then.
I'm just gonna get up and walk out.
Okay, guess we get
Oh.
that way.
I'll quickly just kind of run through a few different people, see if they saw anything.
The first table that you stop at, the ones that were comically leaning towards the three of your conversation, after kind of like asking around, oh yeah, that Never Remember was in here the other day with another dude. They played a few games of Three Dragons Ante, got shit-faced and stumbled their way out of here.
See anything after that?
Not really. I mean, I'm surprised either of them would make it home. I mean, with as drunk as they were.
Well, maybe they did.
And after that, I'll just kind of go back to the bar, wait for everyone to regroup.
Okay. I'll say it's about this time that Atami starts making his way back towards you.
Oh, welcome back.
Did we learn anything?
Quite a bit of things. Nothing I want to say in here.
Hold on, wait, real quick. Where the fuck is everybody? So
I
this
went
is election.
outside.
So I'm outside with you,
Yes.
and they are together in the.
At this point, yes.
Cool. So I'm not there. Bye.
Well, perhaps we should join the others and conversate away from all these burning ears.
Pardon me, join the others. Where are they?
They're just outside the door. You can see them through the window.
You can see my hat.
Yeah,
Spot
right
that
now.
hat from a mile away. Okay, fair.
This is the best fucking item I've ever taken.
I told him not to split the It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. Come with me. I'll, show you some of my favorite parts of town.
Please do.
I'll follow outside.
Just kind of pop my head out.
You hear us talking. So, where did you get this hat? Is it from the academy?
Oh, look, they're coming back.
Okay.
What are you? Look, I get it, okay?
So awkward. I
I'm
love it.
noticing the vibe of you two, and it's not this area, right? 100%. I get that.
Hold on, Danny EXE.
But you have to
Broken
understand
again.
that, remember, two people got jumped and the shit kicked out of them? You are also two people. And I know that you're very adept.
But
One
you
of
do
is
look
very adept at hitting the floor.
You also.
Yeah,
left
Randolph's
the
already
group as
proven
well.
that.
Danny died. Danny went to 0 hit points.
Yes. I do
Just
believe
didn't like
I-
them while listening in. I figured just outside the door wouldn't hurt.
We'll all stick together this time. The place to show you, actually. And I will take them to the candle lane.
Okay, so
I'm also going to be taking a look to see if we're being followed.
Candle Lane is not that far from you. It is actually the name on the street is Castle Lane. But because all of the lanterns have been shattered, at the very end of the alley there is one flickering light that is kept aloft with an eternal flame spell, thus giving it the name Candle Lane. But it is dark and gloomy. There is little to no light. The
There's not no
building,
light, Caitlin. There's one flame.
but it's like 100 feet away, so like it doesn't
Oh.
even. It's not helping you at all right now.
Okay.
But the buildings are kind of stacked like way higher than like is a comfortable range for you. Like it's almost like claustrophobia inducing. But on your right side there's just a stretch of basically like warehouse doors. Atami, you lead them down towards one of the last ones, closer towards that flickering light, where there is that winged snake symbol painted on the door.
It is incredibly dark in here. Would it be absolutely all for me to light our way?
Please don't.
Yeah, I'd have to advise against that.
That's what I.
What are
thought.
you saying?
It
You
was
can't
worth a
see in the
shot.
dark?
That's actually a very good question. Did I give you the dark? I did. I can. It's fine. We're good. It's not like loose end.
I understand it would probably be better, but I don't think.
What, are you afraid? Did you need me to hold your hand?
No, I'm not afraid. Just wary, I suppose. Are you not uncomfortable in this situation?
I've been uncomfortable since I stepped into the tavern.
Precisely.
Y'all are clocking that Atami seems uncomfortably comfortable.
Same.
Amazing.
Atami, roll a perception check for me.
Sure.
But like, if you let other people view you as uncomfortable, then they'll think you're an easy target.
That is a 17.
You don't
Oh,
notice
I-
anyone following you.
I didn't say that I was uncomfortable. I asked if you were.
Insight check.
Okay.
14.
Hold up.
I'm going up against the fucking bard.
Yeah, bitch.
3 charisma class.
Natural 20 on whether it was perception or a persuasion. You'll never know.
Caitlin,
Mhm.
would you say we've had a short rest at all in the time?
Oh yes, please.
No?
Nope,
No,
just
'cause we've
kidding.
just
We've
been
been
traveling.
walking. Okay, sweet. I have no spells.
Neither do I. So how are you
Level
both
2.
feeling in all this? And I'm gonna look to the two incredibly tall ones. Not you.
This
We're all
is
3 incredibly tall.
not entirely outside of my wheelhouse, but you know, I can be persuasive when I want to be.
I'd be lying if I said it wasn't my first time kicking open a door in the dock ward, so I've been here a time or two.
I'm just envisioning the two of them being like, I don't know, 6'2" and 6'3", and I'm like 6'1", and she said the tall ones, and I'm
Yeah. That inch makes a difference.
It does.
Ever since you collapsed, you're not the strong one anymore.
You'll never get that back, bud.
God
You gotta
damn
prove
it.
yourself to this little
This
5'3".
is the second time, guys. The second time this shit has happened. Where I'm like, here I am coming in to play. Fuck it. I don't know why my mic doesn't like staying in. And then I fucking die, and then I ruin it. For the record, this has
Hey, at
no
least it's not
alcohol.
at least it's not like loose ends where like fucking Josh's character just gets air juggled every fucking cut.
Yes, great
Bye.
point. I'm hoping not to turn into that shit. Go
So-
watch Loose Ends, everybody.
So, where are we going?
We're here. There's a bit of me that's like, if we have more people, it will obviously look more intimidating, but also this is my area, and I don't know
Where
if bringing
is-
these absolute strangers inside is a bad idea.
I mean,
Where
You
is
got-
here?
3 of you are over 6 foot. I got a max 5'10" right now.
Yeah.
On the tip
You're not.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. We're gonna go.
No, that was Danica. That wasn't.
We're going to go inside. Fuck nuts. Over here.
Someone add it to the count.
We're going to go inside. Just follow my lead. And don't speak unless spoken to.
We're going to be speaking.
We might.
All right, I'll follow your lead.
Alrighty then. How
I'll
did
be
I get
behind
myself
that
into
one.
this mess? I look at Dante. How did I get myself into this?
I think that's a question for yourself, darling.
Tommy, you go to try to open the door, and it is locked.
Do I
Yep.
have
Doors,
a key on me?
fucking doors.
No.
Good check. Good looking out.
Fair bones. Do I know if this thing is trapped?
Not to your knowledge. There is just a basic lock on it.
How about we?
Cool. Do I have... Nope, I have a disguise kit. I'm proficient with them, but I do not, in fact, have thieves' tools. So... God damn it, I should have gotten the key off of fucking Tassira. Do I also know if there's any other ways into this?
This is it.
This is it.
Do I see any windows?
No.
There's no windows, nothing.
100%.
It's warehouses.
Sometimes they have like the skylights and like the little
No.
tiny window at the very top.
There's a padlock over it, and that's it.
On the outside?
Do any of you happen to be particularly skilled at criminal activity?
Of course. Not picking locks, but I can get rid of locks. Just my sound.
Well, we're gonna try and make as little sound as possible.
Seems like that might make a bit more noise than we're trying to.
Can I just, like, fold a playing card and try and use it as, like, a makeshift thieves' tools?
Sure.
Just dex check.
I will
Cool.
say... yeah, just a dex check. Don't add anything to it.
Mason is over here trying to mask the look of what the fuck have I gotten myself into.
Absolutely.
See, and I just said it, so...
I'm just kind of trying to... Fuck that. Alright. Let's go back to the tavern. I need to talk to someone.
What'd you roll?
I rolled a 6.
Okay.
Beautiful.
I'm
I
just
It's
feel
not a high DC. It is higher than that.
Could I give it a try?
Sure.
Sweet. I... Thinking to
Flat
myself...
dexterity check.
A flat dexterity? Okay. Good. Oh, good. Oh, pretty good. I think it... Yeah, dirty 20. Nope, just kidding. 19.
Okay, so as Tommy says, like, I think we need to go back to the tavern. Callum, you step forward and kind of makeshift a thieves' tool for yourself and manages to open the lock. It kind of clicks open. As the door kind of opens inward, there are tables and chairs carelessly strewn about this room. The corpses of a dozen men lie along the walls, their rapiers and daggers lying nearby. Further in, there's a set of stairs that leads up. And there are also 4 short avian creatures with long beaks and black feathers, who kind of like are all standing there. They look really shocked that the door opened, or like in a moment of shock before they dive for the weapons.
I'm just gonna be like, do not stand in the door. Don't stand in the doorway.
But I got it.
I know, thank you. You did very well. Gentlemen, weapons down. Gentlemen?
Who goes there?
Who the fuck do you've seen this before? And I just kind of like whip the beanie off.
Is this a Kenku?
Yes. 4, to be exact.
Yay,
I love Kenkus.
We are really going to have to get the bodies out of here. They are going to start to smell.
As you say that, you do kind of look over them. There are 5 slain Zentarium and 7 slain members of Xanathar's guild.
I'm
Do I
so
recognize
sorry.
any of them?
From what you gathered, this 5 or party of 5 from Zentarium are the ones that kidnapped Floon and Nair. Or Renar, whatever his name was. Yeah, Renar.
But none of these are Tasahira's group.
No.
Okay.
Hold on. This is your place and you didn't have a key?
Look, if you're smart and you're in the line of business that I'm in, you don't give everyone a key.
It's okay. Didn't realize this was your place. Right.
Well, make yourselves at home, at least for now. Try and get over the scene. Fuck.
So I'm just kind of looking around, looking at these bodies, looking at the tattoos, piecing this all together.
You didn't mention you were affiliated with the Starium.
Wonder why I wouldn't have done that.
You got a lot of enemies.
More than I thought.
How much does Callan know about the Zentarium?
Not a lot.
How much do I know?
Mason knows a good bit more. Callum, you were just kind of under the impression that they are low-lifes, people that live in the sewers for the most part, just crime organizations. Mason, you have a similar viewpoint to that. You do know that they are more of a smuggling operation, trying to get information and weapons, things like that, out of the city of Waterdeep. Normally, the Zentarum are not really. They're like evil. They're not good. But they're not necessarily inherently violent just for the sake of violence. You do know more about the Xanathar's guild than you do the Zentarum, and those are the ones that are slain on the floor, because you have your own grudges against that group.
I'll look back towards the Kenku. Is there anything that you know that you could even tell me?
Xanathar sends his regards!
Yeah, valid.
No time to loot the place. Just take him to Bass. One of the other ones speaks up. Tie the pretty boy up in the back room. Follow the yellow signs in the sewers.
The pretty boy. What about the other one?
They shrug.
Were there 2?
Yes.
Are
Is he-
there
is he-
2?
Going to tie me up?
No.
We're
Am I
getting
the pretty boy
sloppy.
that's going to be tied up?
Just get him to Boss.
Fine. This way.
Are we going to be tied up? Am I going to be tied up?
No. Well, we'll see.
Depends on how you play your cards.
Ma'am. Horny jail for both of you.
You see, I was holding it in.
There's definitely a little sly smile on Tommy's face as he says that. He's just like, there are several ways that you can end this night tied up.
He just looks at you. It clicks. Okay. All right.
Oh, no, trust me. Not all of them are good.
Just eyes just narrow.
You know, I think you gotta just stop thinking into it a bit, and then we can get on with the night.
I know where we need to go. We're getting sloppy, and it's not like us. I'm gonna check the
who is-
Xanathar slain guys. Out of all of these bodies, do I recognize any of the ones that we're supposed to find alive? Either Renar
No.
or Flume.
No, these are all members of the organizations. Neither of the ones you were looking for.
And if I like search throughout this building, there's no sign of them.
We have not gotten that far.
Who is we, by the way? What organization? What am I getting myself into
Are
here?
you a
Because
part of the Zentarum?
I promise you, the least you know about this, the better. Because the more information you know, the more you'll have to be sworn to secrecy. Or just killed outright. Do you want to make sure that this person is returned alive?
I don't really know this person, but that is what I agreed to. And I stand by my. My mic hates me.
I'd rather not see any more dead bodies in one night.
No,
Well, to
I've
stop
had
the
my
bloodshed.
fair share for sure.
This is how we stop the bloodshed. And then we can all go our separate ways, having never met each other before.
Sounds like a plan.
You know, sounds great and all, but ultimately it doesn't do the best for me. You see, friend, now that I know you're a part of the Zentarium, I'll need to be speaking to your higher up after this.
Can I speak to your manager?
And why do you want to do that?
Can I insight check to see if I'm speaking to someone from Xanathar's Guide? Or Xanathar's Guild?
Can I insight
Sorry,
check
that's
to
my
see if
fault.
this fucker's from Xanathar's Guild as well?
Yeah.
My bad.
Amazing.
Oh, absolutely
I'm going.
just sexual.
I have to keep in mind that I'm going up against 3 charisma classes.
Ow.
25.
19.
I was not interested. I have no idea what anything is.
Dante?
I assume
Well,
the DMs are being sent or something.
I am definitely not a part of any type of crime organization.
Okay.
Organization being the key word there.
He runs it.
If anything, somewhat of like a vigilante.
And
An
exactly why
adventure.
do you want to see our higher-ups?
There was a person that you moved a few years ago, possibly ransomed off to another city, and I just want to find their location where they were last seen.
Ah, so you have a vendetta.
Yes, I do. Quite the vendetta.
Who doesn't?
Here's the thing. Help us with this, and I know someone who can get that information for you.
Sounds like a wonderful deal to me.
Sounds good?
I'm simply interested in just getting this over with and parting ways.
It's
Sounds
never
good.
that easy.
Everyone take a seat at the benches. Just kind of, take a second, breathe, gather yourselves, and we'll head out shortly. But
Are
for
you
now,
guys
we're
exploring
safe.
the rest of the building?
Mason wants to get away from the bodies, so she will.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay. So we'll
Yeah,
head upstairs and
probably a
explore the
good
rest.
Okay.
Just mutters.
So
Feels bad.
they're not really like divided rooms necessarily, but they are just 2 storage units kind of stacked on top of each other. So as you continue up the stairs, what is everyone's passive perception?
Ooh,
16.
good question.
14.
Probably god awful.
Probably not the best. Give me just a second.
12.
I'm also, as we're heading upstairs, I'm just going to reapply my mage armor.
As am I. I've just been continuously doing it, which has gotten my
'Cause you-
arcane ward back.
Like
Okay.
anything particular, or is it just like shields? Or
What?
I was asking Danny if her mage armor looked like anything.
It just, if you look close enough, it's this like constant, like faint purple shimmer around her entire body.
So every time I do mage armor, it's almost like I get this mask with like glowing red eyes. I technically have the dread helm on, and then like a cloak that is almost like made of shadow.
I think, like, as she's just constantly casting hers to get the couple times to get her arcane ward, she'll just kind of notice you, and just like a nod of respect, just like, that looks cool.
Double nod. My passive perception is 14.
Atami,
As is
you're the
mine.
only one that notices this. As you guys interrupt that second level, kind of behind some crates, like stacked together, Renair Neverember is crouched, dirty. His clothing is soiled, and he is just looking very afraid at the footsteps coming up the stairs.
Renar, how are you doing, friend?
He does not answer.
Fair enough. I apologize for what it's worth for what has happened here. I was not told that you or your friend would be being attacked. Still don't know why.
Yeah, I wasn't told that either.
Yeah, you don't get told that information. The more cordial we are towards one another, the simpler this is going to be. So, what do you know about certain items being moved from person to person?
I don't know what you mean.
A stone?
I don't. I know of the stone, yeah, but I don't know where it is or who has it.
Inside check?
Go ahead.
Come on, Fern. It's a 15.
You feel like he is telling you the truth.
So, we're running into a problem, right? A logic problem. Whereas people that we know were in possession of it, they were going to give it over to other people that we know. And now it's gone. There's a third party involved here, and if you have anything to do with it, you absolutely need to speak up now.
Look, I haven't spoken to my father in years. I have no idea what he's up to. I have nothing to do with him.
Very well. We're going to play a little game. You and I. I'm going to grab some nearby parchment and quills.
Mhm.
Place a piece of parchment in front of me, piece of parchment in front of him. How does he look, like, physically?
Not the best. It looks like he's had a hell of a beating. His wrist and ankles have severe rope burn from where he had wrangled himself out of the ropes that he was tied up in.
Are those ropes nearby?
I mean, they're in the same room, but they're kind of like on the opposite side where he is now.
Yep, fair enough. I'm gonna kind of place it on, like, a box that we have in the warehouse. And kind of usher him over to sit on the opposite side of this box with me.
He very slowly does.
I'm going to play a bit of a getting to know you game. I'm going to write down my favorite color and why it's my favorite color. I'd like you to do the same.
Is there a point to this? My friend is
I don't
got
do things
kidnapped.
without points. Raynar, shall we begin?
Fine.
Radar?
And I'll begin to write. Make sure that he is also writing.
Mhm.
Then I say no. I'd like you to write a letter to your favorite color. Tell it about the day you've been having. You may use as much colorful language to describe me or my guild as you wish. I will not be offended. And I will write a letter to you.
Are we in the room when all this is happening?
Yes.
I'm gonna just like go over to Tommy and just be like, is there actually a point to this?
Just kind of hold my hand up.
Mason just looks confused.
We're yeah, both of us very confused.
Does he complete the writing prompt?
Yes.
How's his calligraphy?
Pretty good.
Sorry, who is this fuck again?
Yeah, who is this?
Raynar, Neverember, the guy that was kidnapped
This is one
along
of
with
the-
Flu.
Sorry,
Okay.
what was that last name again?
Neverember?
Neverember?
Never
Mhm.
remember.
Like the opposite of Never Winter, Never Ember. Because D&D is awesome like that.
What? Never winter?
He collects
Ember?
the two pieces of paper, and he goes, interesting. Oh, we've never been called that before. Alright. Thank you very much for playing the game with me. He's gonna kind of hold out his hand for a handshake.
He does not shake your hand. Do you want to know what happened now, or are we going to play more games?
Oh, you're being forthcoming. Very good. Of course.
I was never not being fuck. Look, me and Floon had a bit too much to drink, especially him. I was worried he couldn't make his way home. We got jumped leaving the tavern. Got brought back here. A day went by. Xanathar's guild shows up. Slaughters all of the people that you and your group had here. And I guess they thought Floon was me and took him to the sewers.
Interesting. So there's a very good chance that your friend might still be alive. Well, you know what's in the sewers. Good
Yeah, I'm
chance
very
might be-
aware.
Might be pushing it. Shall we go find out? On your feet. And he's going to stand.
Mhm.
Does he stand?
Begrudgingly.
Come now where I can see you.
What do you want? Is it money? I'll give you fucking money. I need to be condescending like this. I mean, I've been through hell.
If you were talking to anybody else in this guild, you would pray to be condescended to. We want this violence to stop as much as you do. And that happens through cooperation.
You kidnapped me. And you want the violence to stop.
I didn't kidnap you.
You're speaking for your group, so I'm lumping you in with them.
I would like to just like elbow Dante and just like give him like a what the fuck is going on look.
I am just like zoned out almost, like looking at my board. I'm like, huh.
As I
I
said,
look-
Callan looks
Frog.
impressed and yet very confused at the same time.
So I feel like Callan and I are on the same page.
Yeah,
The only
100%.
other person is just Dante. I'm just like,
As I said, I did not know that this attack was going to be happening. I don't know why it happened. Nor is it really my place to ask. But they want you, to the higher-ups, alive. Be grateful for that. And your friend is better off alive as well.
He
Are
won't
we-
be alive for long if Xanathar thinks he's me.
Really quickly, are we insinuating that we delivered this man back to the Zentarium?
This man has already been delivered to the Zentarium.
You know your people are on the same footing as slave traders, correct?
It's easy for someone to speak as if they've been somewhere they haven't.
Oh, I'm sure you see it that way. I'm just asking if that's your intentions.
You want to speak to our higher-ups as well, correct?
Yes, I do.
Well, that seems to be where we're all going.
Okay. I'll follow your lead for now. Continue.
I'm then gonna look to Callan with the what the fuck's going on face.
Now, if you break, try to make a run for it. Of course, I will have to strike you down. You understand how this works, of course. However, if you don't, I guarantee your safety as long as it does not threaten mine.
Fine.
Very well. Where I can see you. And I will lead him to the sewer entrance.
We had a short rest.
Not yet.
While
my fucking
while
God.
standing there just watching that happen.
Nope. It was not an
No,
hour.
That's an intense moment. What the fuck was the color thing?
I'm just gonna kind of look at everybody and be like, do you guys want to take a bit of a rest before we go through?
Personally,
Absolutely.
I'll stand watch.
Cool. Let's wait longer for Xanathar to kill my friend. That'll work great.
The healthier that we are, the more likely we can defend you.
And succeed in the first place. Did
So
you
sit in
fight
the
a troll
corner and be a
today?
good boy.
Mason, I want you to be
Mason's
aware of what you
so
are
confused.
doing right now. What your group is about to be doing is going into the sewers to find where Xanathar's guild is holding this other man.
Where Xanathar is holding them?
Yes.
I thought it was the Centaur.
The Zentarum kidnapped him. The Xanathar's guild came in and kidnapped him from them. I just wanted to make sure you were aware
I'll
of that.
be honest here. If we're going up against Xanathar, I'd rather be at a bit more of a full strength.
It's his guild, not necessarily Xanathar himself.
We're not going to be fighting Xanathar, do not worry. And I would rather kill as little people as possible, even if they are from Xanathar's guild, if we can help it.
I'd rather kill nobody, but apparently both of those guilds don't see the same thing I do. Given the dozen people downstairs.
Some of us do. Some of us want the end to this.
Yeah, well, you should try harder to see that through.
It's easier for people to talk about places they've never been. Take your rests. In the meantime, I'm going to be studying the letter that he wrote out.
Okay. It was very colorful worded, fuck you, basically. Nothing too fancy. It was written in beautiful calligraphy, and it was just a lot of hate spewing on the paper.
Yep. I'm just looking at the charlatan feature, false identity, where I can forge documents including official papers and personal letters as long as I've seen an example of the kind of document or handwriting I'm trying to copy.
I was figuring.
Oh
that was-
shit!
Just in case we might have to write a bit of a letter to Papa. So I'll just kind of commit his handwriting and style to memory. And even maybe
Okay.
some of the colorful language he's used.
With respect, first of all, I feel as though this man has been gone, what, 3 days now?
I believe so.
If he's still alive, I don't believe that waiting another few hours is really going to make much of a difference. Would it be in our best interest to take a longer rest than just a nap here?
As you say that, there is a cacophony of noises coming from downstairs.
Oh my goodness.
It sounds like the doors kicked open. The Kinku begins shrieking, and all of you hear, "City Watch! Everybody halt!" And that's where we'll call tonight's session.
Oh shit!
Oh my god.
Mama! Mama, come help me, please.
Ah, shit, it's the fuzz.
Mama,
Caitlin,
Papa.
we didn't have a
Welcome to Waterdeep, Niku.
Mama.
Shit,
Loved
oh,
it.
shit, we have the Popo. Oh my god.
I only know the magistrates. I don't know the City Watch.
That was awesome. Thank you, Caitlin.
Oh my
For
god, Caitlin.
Our
Oh,
very
good.
first episode of Waterdeep Dragon Heist.
It was so good.
If you guys like what you're seeing, and how could you not, go ahead and hit that follow button. You'll be notified about when we go live. As well, if you're watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Turn that notification bell on so that you always know when a new video is posted. You can also head over to the Twitch and drop a follow if you want to see these games live. We also have
If you're on the Twitch... Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. We also have a coffee account that you can, put little tips towards if you want. Would be greatly appreciated, but is never necessary. This content will always be free on YouTube. So, yeah. Alexa, did you have something?
I was just gonna say, if you're on the YouTube, go to the Twitch. If you're on the Twitch, go to the YouTube. Follow, like, do all the things.
Hell yeah. But
Check out our Curse of Strahd. Check out our Loose Ends.
Yeah,
Check out
Loose Ends, Curse
all
of
that
Strahd.
good shit.
All
yes,
the things.
we have Curse
Come
of
out.
Strahd being DM'd by Josh, Loose Ends, a homebrew campaign being DM'd by myself, and
It's
trust
terrifying.
me, you'll see these other two ladies DM at some point in time. But, Caitlin, if you want to go ahead and sign us off.
We'll see you next time around the campfire.